Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Business Today and our special show, Know Your Company. We are honored to host the management of Shriram Finance Limited, now a Nifty company, and its managing director, Mr. Y.S. Chakravarti, is with us to discuss what has been a sterling fourth quarter performance. We'll discuss a lot of details, a lot of other sensible numbers are there on the screen. Let's begin the conversation with Mr. Y.S. Chakravarti. Good afternoon to you, sir, and a very warm welcome on Market Today. Fabulous set of numbers, very strong show as far as the profit and profitability is concerned. Let's get down to basics. What caused this 49% rise in fourth quarter profit year on year to about 1945 crores, sir?
Good afternoon, Shine. Thank you. Pleasure to be here with you. Obviously, you saw the numbers of the strong AUM growth. Both third and fourth quarters have definitely helped the whole thing. And though in absolute terms, probably the costs have gone up, I think we were able to manage it pretty well. One. The other one is also probably it's also due to the fact that yields have been held. We've been able to hold the yields well steadily, and also our the interest income basically also jumped, not just because factors are one is the AUM growth. Second is also I think the mix of slight mix of disbursement, slight change in the mix of disbursement also helped the whole thing. For example, in the third quarter, there were a lot of we did a huge number of two-wheeler funding, which actually gives us a better yield. Similarly, our personal loan also was up in the third quarter, though this quarter we have actually slowed down the business a little bit. But this change in this lending mix also helped us in keeping our margins and amount. You saw that the slight NIM also has gone up in the last two quarters. So I think a lot of factors come back together.
So, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, just a very brief background of Shriram Finance Limited. Of course, this is a very well-known non-banking financial company from down south. It's primarily into financing of commercial vehicles, also used commercial vehicles, as also passenger vehicles, tractors and farm equipment. Offers loans of all kinds, whether it's working capital or against gold or normal loans that you look for, and has had a sterling performance. We'll just show you the stock price. Shriram Finance has appreciated 21% year to date so far, handsomely beating the 3% rise on the Nifty. If you look at the 1 year performance, the counter is up 87% compared with the 21% rise on the Sensex, and the 3 year performance is a CAGR of 21% each year compared with the 14% CAGR on the Sensex. Mr. Chakravarti, let's now look ahead. These numbers are done and dusted. How does the first quarter of the current financial year look to you, given the backdrop of national elections and the fact that everybody is now waiting for June 4th to come and exhale? How has been the first quarter in terms of business performance for Shriram Finance, sir?
So first quarter typically normally also is a little slower one compared to the next 3 quarters in the year. So particularly for commercial vehicles, the first quarter is always slow. But now combined with the election, I think the slowdown was a little more pronounced in the commercial vehicle side than any other business. That being said, basic reason is people know that during the election season the bills could get delayed, or obviously the new works will not be announced, so people postpone purchases of any intended purchases of vehicles. particularly that is used in infrastructure
Okay.
or mining. So there is a slowdown,
Yes.
which we know that, and we anticipated that there will be a slowdown. We knew, I mean, so we would be focusing on the non-CV, non-vehicle portfolio for this quarter. But there is a general slowdown in the first quarter, which we hope
Okay.
will pick up
That's
post.
okay. I mean, these are
Sorry, go ahead.
okay. These are seasonality events, and you've sort of worked them in your financials. Let's look at businesses which are booming, Mr. Chakravarti. Gold loans, for one. Although now about just 2% of your turnover, uh, of course, this is one sector which has really come up very well for NBFCs as also private sector banks. How do you see your gold loan portfolio augmenting itself over the next 1 year or so? And are there any other plans to introduce gold loans amongst your branches across India?
Yeah, definitely. We did introduce in close to about 800 plus branches in the last 1.5 after the merger into the commercial vehicle branches. Um, so we are anticipating to probably in this 12 months we would be introducing another 5 to 600 branches. So the idea is, see, my long-term goal is at least 10% of the AAM should come from gold. Um, when I will reach it, I mean, I can't give you a number answer today, but the idea, that's the aspiration. Um, Gold is a product that your point of presence matters for increasing your AUM. So that's what we are focusing on today.
Okay, that's a very interesting thought you mentioned. I had thought about gold loans as a query because the price of gold has accelerated very sharply over the month of February and March, as
Yeah.
also in April. Uh, you think this is a business that is worth going up after, and competing with your own homegrown players such as Muthoot and Manappuram? 10% AUM will be from gold. Maybe a decadal view or much earlier?
Decadal view. So uh, that's a long-term aspiration for me. That's my personal aspiration, and I hope my team also. My team also buys into it. But I'll put it this way: the scope is there. The scope is enormous. The scope is there. We still needs to. If you look at the business today, the gold available with the banks and NBFCs today, I think we have probably about 25-30% of share. There is still a huge chunk of gold that is being pledged with the money lenders in this country, pawnbrokers and money lenders in this country at high interest rates. So, how do we reach these customers?
Yes.
How do we service these customers is the challenge that we need to solve for. So,
Okay. Let me just share some interesting numbers on gold loans as far as Shriram Finance is concerned. About 2.8% of overall assets under management come from gold. And what's really interesting is that this is the fastest growing segment as far as the company is concerned. Year on year growth in gold for the fourth quarter was about 40%. And even the quarter on quarter growth is about 7% in terms of disbursements of gold. Mr. Chakravarti, I'm sure you have a very, very high expectations. Let's hope they get fulfilled as far as this business is concerned. So, expansion in terms of branches where gold loans will be offered, and a very wonderful, AUM expectation of 10% maybe in a decade. Let's just shift focus. You are
yeah.
probably the biggest player in terms of financing commercial vehicles. Mr. Chakravarti, if you can just comment on how this wonderful road network that the country is now offering in terms of spanking new expressways, connecting states, connecting different regions of the country together by 8 lane, 6 lane highways. How is that boosting demand for commercial loans? That's the bread and butter business for Shriram Finance.
See, I think one very positive aspect of this infrastructure growth is that today a trucker on an average is doing a better mileage on the road per day because of, good FASTag, GST, the better roads. All this actually is helping the trucker in covering more distances and also, see, I still remember trucks used to be 10 tonners or at best 10 to 12, 12, 13 tons. Today,
Yes.
capacities have gone up and now 30 tons have become a very normal, to see a truck, 30-tonner truck has become normal in this country. So, which is actually, it's also being, people are also, going for that bigger trucks, higher capacity also because of the roads. Definitely, it's a huge boost for the transportation sector, these roads. Uh, they, they are helping in one quicker timelines plus lower maintenance, higher fuel efficiency. Uh, this is and freight rates being firm today. I think the truckers are making. I would say most of the truckers are making good money today. So, which again in turn helps the demand as well as the financial because we get money on time. Uh, I think we are on a very good wicket here
I
as well.
agree with you wholeheartedly. Uh, Please
Yep.
continue.
No, I'm saying, I think, see, we used to think about earlier, we used to think about roads in other countries and wonder when we will see them here. One. Two, I think for me personally, for the last 6, 7 years, it's been a revelation on how infrastructure can actually push an economy forward in all aspects.
Yes, Mr. Chakravarti, I think we are living in this wonderful zone where quality infrastructure is not only boosting demand for commercial vehicles, it's also resulting in lower logistics costs because of the very thing that you mentioned, faster movement of trucks. FASTag has also dramatically improved the waiting time of trucks across highways, and of course, all of this put together with lower financing costs and better vehicles is driving profit growth at Shriram Finance. Let's touch on some other parts of the business as well. How do you see your AUM growing over the next 4 quarters or so? There is about a 15% increase in AUM year on year. Good monsoons, will they be helpful for you, especially for rural demand?
Yeah, I think the current financial year, the closed financial year, we have grew by about 21%. But this year, we are actually looking at a growth of about 15%, where we expect the CV sector to grow by between 10 to 12%, and the rest of them growing faster. Particularly the MSME is one where we are focusing on. We would want to grow that lending to MSME is faster. And as far as two-wheeler is concerned,
Okay. Ru-
sorry.
So
Yeah,
let's look at the rural demand, which has been tepid over many, many quarters. In fact, the last 2 3 years have seen rural-focused stocks and businesses, suffer. How do you see rural demand catalyzing against the background of good prediction of monsoons?
see, I would see, good monsoons are always good for us, good for the economy, and good for us. But see, for us,
Yes.
to be very honest with you, uh, post-COVID, actually, it is the urban picked up very fast compared to the rural. But I think last 1 year we were okay both on the rural and urban side. We have not seen a marked difference between rural demand versus the urban demand. For our products, I think we had a pretty good stable rural demand last year also. And if because of good monsoons it goes up, it will be good for us because we are focused on smaller small business lending to small businesses. Our two-wheeler business should do well. Gold should also do well if small businesses are doing well. All these products will do well. Probably the if the rural economy picks up and if the agri output increases, then probably the truck business also should do well.
Fair point, and that's more or less on lines that we've been talking to other lenders such as yours in the banking space as well. Mr. Chakravarti, the key to profitability and higher profit for NBFCs such as yours and other lenders is the cost of credit. Given the fact that a lot of new investors, especially, and older folks also are preferring to increase their systematic investment plans in the market versus going for plain vanilla fixed deposits as they were doing maybe 3 years ago and definitely a decade ago. How do you see this battle for credit and CASA? How have your costs moved?
See, our costs are as of, probably about 25-30 basis points. It has gone up, but we were able to hold it because of a hold to our margins also because of the change in tweaking our product mix, number one. Number two, the cost, I don't expect the cost to rise in the next at least for the next 2 quarters. If they may not come down, but I think if they hold at what they are today, we are confident that we'll also be able to maintain our margins. On the fixed deposit front, if you look at our fixed deposit, majority of my fixed deposit, almost I would say close to 60% of my fixed deposit comes from senior citizens. And I don't think my senior citizen customer would want to do a SIP today. So on the deposit front, we have grown comfortably. So not too much of a worry from Shriram Finance point of view on that. And it's good if the more money is going.
Last question to you.
Sorry. And if it's good if it more money.
Please continue, sir. It's good if more money is going into
mutual funds. I will get both. I'll get both debt and probably the equity side.
Yes, I agree with you. My last question to you, Mr. Chakravarti. How do you see the top line and the profit of Shriram Finance moving over the next 1 year?
See, this year we would focus more on growing the bottom line. Probably the bottom line the focus is growing the bottom line faster than the top line, Shine. So that will be the focus for this year. So that's the reason why we said even though we will grow at 15%, but our bottom line should grow faster.
Fine. Mr. Chakravarti, thank you so much for your time, and we hope that the coming quarters are as stellar as they are over the past 4 or 5, and that your gold loan portfolio over the next decade or so brightens up the future of all shareholders at Shriram Finance. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much, Shine. Always been a pleasure. Thank you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Mr. Y.S. Chakravarti, Managing Director at Shriram Finance Limited, the newest entrant in the Nifty, talking about his fourth quarter performance and the look ahead. Please stay glued to BT2B for all your news needs in the coming days. Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and you're watching Market Today. The guest that we have live with us now is Mr. V. Vaidyanathan, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of IDFC First Bank. Welcome, Mr. Vaidyanathan, to the show. Your bank has reported steady profits in its results for the fourth quarter. Take us through the key performance highlights of the quarter.